Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because it's a video that I've been getting requested a lot. Whenever I do one of those videos where it's recommendations based on your personality type or your zodiac sign, I always get requests to do it for the Enneagram types, and finally, here we are. I love that my cat gets this close to me, and when I'm actually gonna pet her or pick her up, like I was saying, I'm very excited for today's video, and I'm also very excited for today's sponsor, Ana Luisa Jewelry. I've already talked about them in my previous videos, and I absolutely love them so much. It's one of my favorite companies, one of my favorite jewelry companies. Everything they make is just so dainty and beautiful and long-lasting. I had this coin necklace that I wore for an entire year, and now I have another one that has a moon on it, and this one that's a little flower. I'm just in love. I feel like if I don't have a necklace on, I feel kind of naked. Like I've said before, my skin is very sensitive. My ears get irritated very easily if I wear just any jewelry that isn't, you know, good quality. My hands are also, I have eczema on my hands, so I usually never wear anything on my hands because it will get irritated. Their jewelry has never irritated my skin, which is one of the main reasons why I love them so much. They also make their stuff in limited batches, eliminating excessive waste. And the best part is that they are extremely well priced. They feel like they should be extremely expensive, but they're not. Right now they're having a holiday sale where you can buy one and get one 40% off. The holiday sale is up until December 26th, so I suggest if you haven't done your Christmas shopping for your family or friends that need or love jewelry, then, you know, I suggest you go and check out the sale. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description for you to check it out. Thank you, Ana Luisa, for sponsoring this video. I love these so much. Hey, Luna, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, she's gonna jump across. She's gonna jump across. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go! Tú puedes. Luna, ven por arriba. Oh my god, she backed out. She chickened out. She can jump so high and from like such... Luna! Oh yeah! Luna, te dije. Yeah. Anyways, alright, let's start with the Enneagram types. By the way, I want you guys to figure out what type I am, like I've done in my previous videos. I think it's really fun when you try to figure out what I am. So if you have any idea of what type you think I could be, leave them in the comments down below. I will post my answer on my Instagram, so you can go to my Instagram and check out my most recent post, and I will tell you my type. Let's start with type 1, the perfectionist. Like the name says, they are perfectionists. They want to right every wrong. They are very responsible people. They want everything to go according to plan. It's not like there can be a balance. They just see things in black and white, or right or wrong. They are very dependable, you know, being so responsible. They won't let you down, but also they will do what they think is right. Type 1s can also be very critical, not only of others and the actions of others, but also of themselves. They can be very self-conscious about what they do, and they will try to do everything that they can to correct themselves and correct others as well. So the movie that I chose for type 1 is Marriage Story. Marriage Story stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. They are a married couple that are having a lot of problems, so they decide to separate and eventually get a divorce. He is a theater director and she is an actress. She wants to move to LA to pursue acting, and he wants to stay in New York and pursue his theater directing there. So this movie I think fits for type 1s because both of them in this situation, they think that they are right. They don't want to see both sides of the coin. They're also very critical of one another. They do try to correct what is wrong in the relationship at first, but eventually it's just a matter of black and white. This will never work. They need to just get a divorce and get done with it. This movie I loved. I know that opinions on this movie varied a lot when it came out. I saw a lot of people saying that it was garbage, that they did not like it, but I completely loved it. I thought that it was such a interesting movie because to me it was just so human. It's like the simplest story. It was just about this couple that's getting a divorce. There was nothing that was extraordinary about the movie at all. And I thought the performances were also very truthful. I know that a lot of people did not like, the infamous scene that is now a meme forever. I don't think that the characters were completely likable. There were a lot of things that were unlikable about both characters. That's what makes it a human story in my eyes. So I think both of them saw what they wanted to do as the right thing to do. Like I said, I love this movie. I love how simple it is. I really like simple stories. Alright, let's move on to type 2, the helper. So type 2s are very, very generous. They're usually people pleasers. They want to help those in need and empathize with other people's feelings. Basically, they can bring out the best in other people. They're a good friend, they're a good supporter. They will help you if you need them. At the same time, they do want to be liked by others. They do want to be appreciated by others, which is why they have to be careful not to overstep too much, not to overhelp and insert themselves into the situations more than they should. I think a movie that would fit type 2s really well is School of Rock. School of Rock is one of my favorite childhood movies. It's so fun. It's about this guy who is a rock musician. He has no job, he has no money, so he decides to impersonate his roommate and get a job at this fancy school, but he does not care at all about teaching. He just wants the money. That's it. He then realizes that he can teach music to these children. Throughout the movie though, he gets to know each of the kids. He gets to really care about them, and he starts to really inspire them into learning more about music and learning how to play the instruments, and they really start to have this profound love for music. I know that he might not be the perfect type 2, but I think that throughout the movie, especially when he realizes that he really truly cares about these kids and their lives, that's when he, in my eyes, becomes this person who just wants to help the kids. At the end of the day, he doesn't care about the contest or the money. He just wants to fulfill these kids' love for music. Although he does this in a way that is just overstepping too much. He's lying about who he really is, taking them into this contest without their parents even knowing. So he, in this way, is overstepping his boundaries, but ultimately it is to help the kids and inspire them. So in this way, I think the type 2s could really resonate with this movie. It's also just a super fun movie. I always have a great time when I watch it. The music in it is really fun as well. Alright, let's move on now to type 3, the achiever. So type 3s are pretty much success oriented. They want to be successful, they want to excel, they want to take the initiative and get things done. Sometimes though, they can care too much about praise and getting rewarded for these achievements that they start to lose kind of their purpose of why they're doing these things. They just have to really listen to themselves and what they want and not necessarily focus too much on the praise that they will get. That's something that is difficult for them to do. The movie that I chose for type 3 is Emma. I've talked about this one before on my channel already, and it stars Anya Taylor-Joy, aka the Queen's Gambit, aka just the best girl. It's based, of course, on a Jane Austen novel, and if you guys didn't know, Clueless, the movie Clueless, is actually based on the story of Emma. Emma is this overachiever. She always wants to get things done her way. She is this matchmaker, but she doesn't know why she's doing these things. It's not necessarily for herself, but she wants to be praised. She wants people to know how good she is at what she does. So that's why I think this movie really resonates with type 3. It's a really, really fun movie, and I especially love the color palette in it. It's full of pastels and bright colors, the costumes as well. I think it's a really fun period piece. Usually with period pieces are, duller, darker. It's a lot more old-timey looking. Alright, let's move on to type 4, the Individualist. So type 4s are very sensitive people. They are very passionate. They are really great at expressing their emotions, be it through art, through music, through writing. Basically, they are just very in touch with their emotions. They like to be alone, they like to self-reflect, and they just have this kind of romantic idea of life. Not necessarily in a positive way, it could also be in a very melancholic way. They do compare themselves to others and can become very envious of others. I think a movie that would really fit type 4 is Inside Llewyn Davis. Inside Llewyn Davis stars Oscar Isaac as this musician, or I should say a struggling musician, because he is definitely not where he would like to be with his music or with his life at all. Right now he has no money, he's staying with some acquaintances. He sees no meaning in life other than to make music and express himself through his music. I thought that sense of melancholy was very present in this film, which is why I chose it for type 4. It just seems like he's always longing for more. He's always searching for a deeper meaning. He's always searching for that thing that will make him happy someday. And I feel like that's very true to type 4s. And of course, the fact that he's a musician, expressing himself through his art is another reason why I chose it for type 4. Let's move on to type 5, the Investigator. Type 5s are very intellectual. They often just want to gain information, gain knowledge. They are very analytical. They have the capacity to be very brilliant, extremely intelligent, but they can also not be so great at relationships and expressing their emotions. This can also lead to loneliness. A movie that I think would fit type 5s is The Royal Tenenbaums. The Royal Tenenbaums is a movie directed by Wes Anderson. It's about this family that is a very dysfunctional family. It's a husband, wife, and 3 kids. The children are all extraordinary in their own way, so they do not have the best relationship with their family or with each other. In this movie, they all get together as adults, and Royal, who is their father, wants to make things right with everybody. I chose this movie because all of the children have their own unique type of genius to themselves. They have all excelled at something on their own, but sadly they don't have those connections with their family. They don't have those relationship skills that are also very important. So I think that by definition it just really resonated with me for type 5. At the same time, it's a really good movie. It's one of the older ones by Wes Anderson. It looks completely Wes Andersonian. So yeah, I just think it's a very interesting and unique movie that type 5s can watch and relate to. Alright, let's move on to type 6, The Loyalist. Type 6 are very perceptive and intelligent. They can figure out if someone's intentions are good or bad. They have really good common sense. They have this ability to protect the ones that they care about. They can sometimes doubt themselves, of course, and doubt situations, but ultimately they have this courage inside of them that is very admirable. For type 6, I chose the movie Train to Busan. Train to Busan is a Korean horror movie. Now, when I say horror movie, it's not necessarily scary. I myself do not like horror movies because at night I will be thinking about it. I will be looking at the ceiling, the corners of the room to see if anything will pop up. But this one is not scary. It's just like a thriller. It is a zombie movie where there's this zombie outbreak in South Korea and they're trapped in this train. Our protagonist is a man and his young daughter. He wants to protect her at all costs. We also see other characters inside the train, but ultimately he is the one that has to kind of step up and protect not only the group, but especially his daughter. He is a quiet man that really analyzes the situation at hand. He has to make decisions right on the spot. He has to carefully analyze everything because, it's life or death. So I think that in this way, I could relate this movie to type 6. It's also just a great movie, such a thrilling experience. Let's move on to type 7, The Enthusiast. So type 7s are just very fun people, very spontaneous, they are adventurers, they're very enthusiastic, they always want to have new experiences and have fun, and they are just super optimistic in everything that they do. Sometimes it is challenging for them to really focus on one thing because they want to do so many things that it's just hard for them to really hone in on something. They can just get distracted very easily because they want to experience everything. A movie that I chose for type 7 is Castle in the Sky. It's a Studio Ghibli movie. While I don't think the characters are necessarily type 7s themselves, I think the movie itself While I don't think the characters themselves are necessarily type 7s, I think that the movie itself can be very enjoyable for type 7s. It is a movie that is full of adventure and magic and just so much fun. I don't think that a movie that moves slowly and it's just really simple would catch the attention of a type 7. I think they would be far more entertained with something as fun as Castle in the Sky. Castle in the Sky is about this girl Sheeta. She has this magical necklace and she comes floating down from the sky and meets this young boy named Patsu. They both team up in search for the mystical Castle in the Sky while also being pursued by a bunch of bad guys. There's a lot of flying machines and robots, magical stones and floating castle, and it's just a lot of really fun elements to this movie that I think that the type 7 that watches this movie will be just super entertained all the way through it. It's such a fun movie, and I think it's one of the lesser known Ghibli films, so I don't even think I've mentioned it that much in my channel before. Alright, let's move on to type 8, the challenger. Type 8s are very confident, very decisive. They like to take on leadership roles. They don't think about it twice. They certainly can be very intimidating. They will fight you if you wrong them. Basically, they will defend themselves. They definitely will do everything to protect themselves, to protect what's theirs. The movie that I chose for type 8 is Heathers. And no, I'm not talking about the Conan Gray song, although I love that song. I'm talking about the movie starring Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. It's one of the classic teen movies. This girl, Veronica, she is part somehow of the popular group of girls at school. They're all called Heathers. If you ever watch Reese's, it's kind of like the Ashleys. She is somehow part of this group, but she hates them. She really does not like how the other girls behave. She meets this guy who is kind of like the bad boy, typical bad boy of teen movies, and somehow they start to cruelly punish these girls. If you still haven't watched it, I don't want to give spoilers. I could relate this movie to type 8s because they have this really strong personality. They are so confident. They want to protect themselves and protect what's theirs, and I feel like that is what Veronica is trying to do with the Heathers. Obviously, it kind of takes a really bad turn that I'm not saying that type 8s are like that at all. You could also say that the Heathers are type 8s in their way. It's also just one of the most classic teen movies of the 80s. So if you still haven't watched it and you like teen movies, I really love like movies that are set in high school and about young people. Alright, so we reached type 9, the final type, the peacemakers. Type 9s are very easygoing and chill. They just want harmony in their everyday life. They want everything to just be easygoing. They want everything and everyone to get along. They just want everything to be at peace. For this reason, it's sometimes hard for them to make decisions and be, assertive with their decisions. They're just easygoing and will go with the flow, basically. They're very agreeable and complacent. This could be a good thing and a bad thing, because obviously if you avoid conflict at all times, that just can't go in your favor all the time, Sometimes you need to stand up for yourself, and this is something that's hard for 9s to do. So the movie that I chose for type 9 is The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is a movie that I've talked about before on my channel a bunch of times, I think, because it's definitely one of my favorite movies. The main character, Jimmy Fails, he is a man that lives in San Francisco, and he wants to kind of reclaim this house that he thinks is his, that belonged to his grandfather. There's these people that live in it. Basically, he just goes there every day, sits outside, tries to kind of fix the house from the outside with the current owners inside and everything. He, in a very passive way, it's like he's saying, this is my house, so I'll do whatever I want, but obviously not being too intrusive. I think that he isn't necessarily a type 9 in a way that it's like he will never confront someone. He is in his own way going towards what he wants. He wants this house, and he is very subtly trying to obtain it. So I think that's why he kind of reminded me of a type 9. This movie also, it's just so, you feel at peace when you watch it. At least I do. Whenever I watch it, it's just a huge smile on my face. The way that these characters interact, him and his best friend, is just the most pure-hearted relationship. I don't know, I just really think that this movie can bring this inner peace to whoever watches it. That harmony that type 9s really like. So that's why I chose it for type 9. It's also, like I said before, one of my favorite movies, so I just want to recommend it again in case you still haven't watched it. The opening sequence is amazing. Alright, that's it for the personality types. Let me know if you have already seen the movie that I recommended for your type, if you think that another movie that fits each type better, please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it, because sometimes, you know, I'm not right all the time with these recommendations. Sometimes you can have a different point of view for another type, or you know, just another add-on, another movie that could really fit the sign. Like I said before, I'm gonna be posting my personality type on my Instagram. If you have any guesses, please make them down below. Also, don't forget to check out Ana Luisa's holiday sale. Buy one, get one 40% off. Plus, you can get this travel case if you make a purchase of over $150. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description for you to check it out. Alright, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I make movie recommendations all the time. Yeah, if you still haven't subscribed, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.